Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. Russian President Vladimir Putin's term ends in the year 2024. He'll be completing a second consecutive term as president. According to the Russian constitution, he cannot run for president again after that. But if all goes according to plan, then that could certainly change, and term limits could well be scrapped to keep Putin in power. In a move that could make him president for life, a bombshell statement was dropped in Russia's parliament, the Duma. Ruling United Russia's party lawmaker has proposed to allow Putin to run for office again. The lower house of parliament approved Putin's package of constitutional amendments. A total of 382 MPs voted in favour, with 44 abstaining. This comes after a major overhaul of Russia's political system in January, which prompted Putin's longtime ally and Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev to step down. Putin submitted a constitutional reform blueprint, one that will create a new centre of power outside the presidency. Under his plan, some of the president's broad powers would be clipped and the parliament's powers expanded. Now, in one of the biggest changes, the status of the State Council, a low-profile body that advises the president, would for the first time be enshrined in the Constitution. Now, that had fueled speculation over his ambitions after his term expires, with some saying that he could head the beefed-up State Council once he leaves the presidency. But now he has the backing of the entire Russian parliament to remain as president. All he needs now is an official go-ahead from the Constitutional Court.
В принципе, этот вариант был бы возможен, но при одном условии, а именно, если Конституционный суд Российской Федерации даст официальное заключение, что такая поправка не будет противоречить принципам и основным положениям закона, основного закона, Конституции.
Elections in Russia are scheduled for the year 2021. A ruling party lawmaker had called for advanced snap polls after the constitutional changes are done with. But Putin sees no need for it.
Но если по этому вопросу в парламенте нет консенсуса, а его, как мне сказал председатель, нет, то я не вижу необходимости в засрочных выборах Государственной Думы.
Critics have accused Putin of orchestrating a constitutional coup. Putin first became president in the year 2000. He has served 4 presidential terms in total and has also done a stint as prime minister. He has dominated the Russian political landscape for 2 decades. Currently 67 years old, Putin will turn 71 in 2024. He hasn't spelled out clearly what his plans are after that, but had said that he does not favour the Soviet-era practice of having leaders for life. Somehow, that's hard to believe now, considering where things stand at the moment. We are joined by Julia Chaplain, live from Moscow, for more insight on the story. Good evening to you, Julia. Thanks for being with us. Take us through this latest move in the Duma by President Putin. Is this a constitutional coup?
Well, he certainly wouldn't see it that way. He says that he's doing everything above the law, and he says that he wants the Constitutional Court to take a look at these amendments that have been passed by the lower house of the Russian parliament today. Among them, of course, that proposal that would reset his presidential terms in 2024, because President Putin has already served 4 presidential terms and 1 term as Prime Minister of Russia in between, when he was forced to stand down under the Constitution, because currently the Constitution says that no president can stand for more than 2 consecutive terms, and as such, in 2024, President Putin is due to come to the end of his tenure. But in January, he made a number of proposals to change the Constitution. At the time, he said he wasn't looking to stay in 2024. A number of changes were made to certain government bodies, giving the parliament more power. At that time, the then Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev stepped down, and there was enormous speculation as to what that could mean for President Putin's future. But now a new option has arisen, and President Putin has left the door open to potentially running again in 2024. He hasn't said that he will, but he's giving him options. So first,
Seems we have unfortunately lost Julia Chaplain. We will try to reconnect with her for more on this latest move by Putin in the Duma in Russia.